Toy Chest Quest. Really appreciate you stopping by the channel. Today we're going to do something a little different. Starting today, we're going to have this month-long bracket voting system to determine which of the McFarlane Toys Batman figures is the best. Just had the idea because I realized there were way more than 16 of these figures. So I guess what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you how I came up with the figures. We're going to quickly go over all the contestants, and then I'm going to encourage you to go and vote for your favorites. As I'm sure some of you are aware, there are a few admissions. There were only 16 spots, so I had to kind of get picky, had to kind of make a few stipulations to cut a few people out. First off, it had to be a Bruce Wayne or a variant of Bruce Wayne in another universe. I thought that would sadly take out Thomas Wayne, who is a very cool looking Batman, but in all fairness, it helped me get a couple of these numbers down. Other than that, also, if the character was only released in a 2-pack, I also did not allow those figures in. Metal, Speedster, Batman, very cool, like him a lot, didn't make the cut. He's in a 2-pack, so sorry. Alright, I'm really excited to start this. Obviously, I started a little later into March, so we are going to go a few weeks into April. There is no one tying any of us to the month of March to have a poll, so if I want to start half of it, take the other half into April, there is no one to stop us. So that is what we are doing here on this channel. So let's go over the contestants. I'm really excited. Like I said, it took me a long time to get one of these voting things to actually work. So if you are on the polltab.com site and you see me like this, you're on the right poll. So first, we're just going to go right down the list. First, we have the White Knight, which I like this character a lot. It's just a classic Batman. I don't have this one. There's also a paint variant of this one that kind of makes him look like Catman, where he's like a brown. It's supposed to be like a red Target variant, but he looks more like Catman. I think we can all agree on. So you can also take into mind, if you want, the character's variation in color, because I just kind of picked a very standard picture I can just nab off of an Amazon site for each of these. So if there's a variant of the character you like, you can keep that in mind too, because it's just the actual figure we're thinking about, and the variant I feel like is included in that. Okay, and he's going up against Death Metal, which is a really tough competitor if you ask me. I actually have this figure right behind me. I have not cracked into it yet. I'm going to try to do some reviews this month to promote this poll, and he is going to definitely be one of them. There is a variant of this. It's coming out, or is out this month, that is him with a guitar. It's very cool. There's slight variations on the paint and some of the markings, but I think either way you win with this figure. Very excited to review and open that one. I think he's a huge contender. He's got a giant scythe. It's awesome. I've not done my voting yet either. I'm going to give it a couple of days so then you can't obviously tell which ones were mine, because I don't want to affect the voting myself. I don't want you to be like, oh, the first person who voted was clearly Zane, and these are the ones he voted for. I want everyone to have their own equal opportunity to pick their own favorite Bat people, so I'll be doing mine after a few people have participated, hopefully. And then after a week goes by, if I'm the only one, then we'll just talk about my favorite Bat people. Alright, the next one, these are two that I really love. The first one is this figure right here, which is the Dark Knight from Metal. I think this is a really cool version of the modern Batman. If you see Batman in comics a lot, he kind of comes up with this design where he's got the outlined Bat logo. I think that looks so cool with just the yellow and the yellow on the belt. And he comes with two just hand axes. They're very cool looking. They've got really good detail. He has a really cool ragged cape. It's a really great comic he comes from. If you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend it. I actually, through finding all these weird Bat figures at Walmart's, had to figure out what the heck they were all from. So I ended up reading it right away and loved it. And this was actually, I think, yeah, this was the first one I got. So this was the first of the Batman McFarlane figures that I picked up because I got this, read the comic, just over the moon about it. So, I think he is a really good, if you're looking for like a standard Batman, even though he has the axes, I think he doesn't have to have them, but man, it is hard not to display him with those axes. Okay, next we have, from my own childhood, I just recently picked this one up too, Batman from Batman the Animated Series. And I mean, look, I think there was a whole line of Batman the Animated Series figures that I missed out on, sadly. I wasn't really collecting at the time, but I see them pop up, and They look great, but boy, I mean, I hope they do more from the animated series from McFarlane, because this rules. He's just a really good looking figure. I'm trying to think. I know I had a little bit of trouble finding one that had all the paint that looked really good, but this one looks great. Overall, fun accessories. This is another one I'm probably going to do a quick review of this month. Alright, on to the next one we have, which this is a crazy figure in my opinion. The Devastator, who's also on the table. So he's more or less, it's just like Batman and Doomsday were this horrible, just beast of a rock monster. This is one of the heaviest toys I own, without a doubt. I paid $15 for it at Walmart. I love bragging about that because I think that's nuts. And I've seen this figure at that price several times, and I've seen him at the price of $20 and $30, all of which I think he's worth. I love this guy. He is just to hold this is so fun in my opinion, and the way he moves and he poses really fun, sits really well, balance is easy. I think this is also a huge contender in this poll. This was the second. This was maybe the first or the second of the Bat figures that I picked up. So both of these on the table near and dear to my heart because these were the first two for sure. I cannot remember the order of those specifically, so don't blame me. I'm so sorry. But the next one is the Dawnbreaker, who is a Green Lantern Batman, an evil Green Lantern Batman. He has this cool bat construct. It's very spooky. He's got like this kind of Elvis Presley like kind of face, he's really cool, very unique figure. It was definitely one of these that led me to the comics. I remember he was one of the first ones I was like, whoa, what's this spooky Green Lantern Batman from? So he's also very neat. And that is going to be a fun round. Okay, and then the last of this first half. Okay, the first one is going to be the Drowned, who is like this female Batman, Aquaman hybrid. Looks awesome. I ran into this figure once, tried to pick it up, and actually it was one of these things where Walmart had it out early and couldn't figure out the price. It was a whole thing and just didn't want to deal with it with COVID and stuff. And I was like, I'll come back another day. She wasn't there. It's a very neat figure though, so definitely be keeping an eye out for that one. And she's going up against the Murder Machine, who is like Batman crossed with like Cyborg, and he's got this huge tentacle-y hand. It's a very neat figure as well. I like the paint job on this one a lot. It's like black with like blue and oranges. It's really cool. Really, there's a lot of really neat characters from that whole Batman metal thing. I'd really check it out. It's fun. Alright, we're at the halfway point, so really quickly, I just want to take a break. Not a sponsorship, just want to remind everybody, once this channel hits 500, which we are 2 or 3 people away from at this point, we're going to give away this NECA Super Shredder. I know it's not related to Batman, but it is a really cool figure that I'm going to give away to one of you. And I'm going to release the video later this week explaining the rules on how you're going to win this, so gotta be subscribed to win. And other than that, watch the video to find out the rest. So, subscribe and have a chance to win this. Thanks so much for watching this. Okay, I think this stuff, these get really good. I buried a few of my favorites in this one because I wanted to really spread everybody out. So I thought this would be fun to put the 2 Arkham video game figures against one another. I was initially going to cut one of them because I think that these figures are honestly so different and unique from one another that I think that they can totally... I think they can each hold their own. They're both completely different. And if you consider with the Arkham Asylum one, there's like this, it's in a 2-pack, so I mean it's kind of a dicey rule breaker. But he's got like the Joker green slime stuff. I forget what it's called, like toxin all over him, and it looks really cool too. I'm actually looking. I would love to find that 2-pack just to even see in the wild because I've seen pictures and it's really neat. But the Arkham Knight, I just started playing that game recently. Love the way that suit looks in the game. The figure looks equally as cool. I'm sure they probably just use those models because it looks just right out of the game. Okay, on to the next one. Alright, the next one is going to be The Last Night on Earth. And this is one I'm personally desperately trying to find. I'm reading this comic right now and it's very interesting, very cool. I love how he's got this like, the Wayne Foundation has taken over Arkham Asylum, so he's got like this, it's like a straight jacket that has like the Wayne emblem on the front, and the cowl, and then he's holding the Joker's head in this jar. It is so creepy and weird, and just only the kind of thing you could find in a Batman comic, and I love it. I've been looking for this figure for a while. The whole wave is great, and the Build-A-Figure is really cool too. It's like a big, bulky Bane. Some of the pictures do have the Build-A-Figure parts with them, but that doesn't influence the decision if they have that, or if they have like part of a Build-A-Figure you really like. That was also someone who did not make the cut, was the one Batman Build-A-Figure who's this massive, awesome Wonder Woman. Hey, maybe in 5 or 6 years we'll do the best Batman Build-A-Figure. Who knows how far this will go. Alright, and the last honor, we're going up against Hellbat. Don't know a ton about this character yet. It's kind of like a giant Iron Man Batman suit, and its name's Hellbat, so that's pretty sweet, and it looks really cool. I have seen this one in person. It's very similar to this one, where it feels really big, and you're like, this is a toy. I love this thing. It's very fun, so that's one to definitely keep an eye out for. Okay, let's go down to the last half here. Okay, now there's a lot of really wild ones in these. I thought I'd round it out with 4 really solid ones. Keep you voting. So first we've got the Batman Who Laughs, which is a Batman Joker hybrid. Surprisingly, I do not have that character. I've got the Crow Robin who goes with that character, but I've not found that one yet. I thought I found it a few times, but it was actually the Hawkman, which is also equally creepy, but I definitely want the Joker Batman hybrid. He's one of the main people in the Batman Metal series. Really cool. I know a lot of people gravitated to that character. Very creepy, unique. We hadn't seen anything like that for a while, so that's definitely a huge contender in this, I feel like. Alright, he is going up against another character I feel like is a very popular action figure, which is the Grim Knight, which is more or less, it's like a evil Batman who's like just loaded just as many guns as possible. He looks like more or less the Punisher of Batman, and it's a really cool figure. I have seen this one in person too, and it is really neat, especially if you're like a big gun person. It's like, boy, he's got him like, if it was a Punisher figure, it just looks like he's got, like too many. It's so funny. Yeah, it's almost comical, but it's great. People love it. It looks great. Photographs really awesome. So yeah, that's going to be a close round, I think. Alright, for the final round, if you saw my toy hunt yesterday I posted on Saturday, then you already knew this guy was coming, and I picked up the McFarlane Gold Label Batman figure. Fancy whistle. Look at that little thing. That's so nice. And this is a Batman that is designed by the Todd McFarlane, who I've been a huge fan of since I was a little kid. Actually, the first toys I collected were McFarlane Toys. Always seemed like a really cool guy throughout my life, and just always liked Todd McFarlane stuff and his products. So very excited when they announced. This was one of the things I'd kind of expected and hoped for when I found out he had the license. I was like, oh boy, we're gonna get some really cool original Todd McFarlane Batman. Little bit less of a cape than you'd expect though. Usually, I would expect like a Todd McFarlane cape to be coming out of the bottom here, maybe even coming up here, and you're just trying to shove it back in there. This figure rules. I can't wait to review this figure also this month, maybe even in the next couple weeks. This will be one of the first ones I review probably, because it's just starting to come out. Last but certainly not least, I did Detective Comics number 1000 Batman, and it is just more or less the most classic Batman you can think of from the comic books. He does have the bigger, beefy logo on his chest. I love this accessory he has. I like to think of it as accessory you can actually hear, because you just see this and you think, you just instantly, it's in such a good action pose with this little twist. They gave Batgirl maybe the same or a very similar accessory, and I understand why. It's really fun. It looks awesome on your shelf. It just looks like Batman launched off. He's off on his next adventure. And it is really fun. His cape, this is one of the bigger capes I think that I have out, at least on the table. Animated series looks like he has a pretty big cape, but this one might be the biggest one, and it's also not torn, a little tattered at the bottom, but like almost just in an animated sense. So very cool. I love this. I think this is the most basic standard Batman you can get. This one I would go if you're looking for the most modern comic one, but this one definitely just like, you draw Batman from memory, probably gonna have something that looks like this. Alright, well, that's all the contestants. I hope this was fun to sit through all these with me and to go over everybody. Comment down below your personal favorites, who you think's going to win the whole thing. I think that's really fun to speculate. I love all these figures. I think they're all a blast, and I think it's going to be fun to vote with them, talk about these weekly. I'm going to do a couple live things. Actually, for the end, I have something planned. Oh. So, oh my god, this is too big for the thing. It is taller than the shot. So, I ended up picking this thing up recently. I don't know, I'd forgotten this thing had existed, and we found one in like a storage thing, and it was like a situation where I was like, hey, yeah, I think I can, this is definitely scale with my figures. It is 4 feet tall, so the plan is I'm going to live stream me putting this together. We're going to talk about it. Maybe we'll talk about the Snyder Cut of Justice League, because it'll be into March, so it'll give plenty of people time to watch it, though it is like 4 hours long. We have HBO Max, but I maybe need to rewatch the other one first, because I don't remember it. It's been a while. And I also don't remember Batman v Superman that well, which, can you see that logo? Oh my god, it's right at the top, so maybe this is tall enough. I'm gonna need a wider lens. I might have to use the GoPro to live stream this, because this thing is huge. So that's what we're gonna do for the finale. This thing looks like it's a blast. I don't know if you can see or not. It's got a little Ben Affleck up here, and he's like, it looks just like he's making the same face he was making in all those memes. And he was the "Hello Darkness, my old friend" memes. But this thing is rad. Thank you so much for watching. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the results of this poll. I hope this is a fine enough polling thing. Remember, if you got the poll tab, you see me being like this, in this hat, this shirt on the cover, you've gotten to the right place. Very much looking forward to putting this stupid thing together. I am 6 feet tall. This is 4 feet tall. So, I do not know where I'm going to ever put this thing, but it's going to be a blast to do live with you guys. I'm hoping, I think I've got to measure, but I think there's enough room from here to my ceiling. I'm guessing this is 3 feet, and then there's just a little on top. I'm hoping this is like 3 feet, and then maybe this thing here is another foot, and I can just do without that and figure something out for it. But don't forget, if you're subscribed to the channel, we're very, 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 very close to our goal to give away the Super Shredder. Can't wait to give it to one of you. Thank you so much for watching. So we'll have another video on the channel talking about this next week. But in between then, I'm going to do some reviews, probably post another toy hunt. So check those out, and hopefully I'll see you guys really soon. Thanks for watching.